The nail was always jabbing him and he couldn't get down to it. It was just stiff. And so, and then he ran his hand through the belt of the hay baler. And I said that he cried that time. And it was so tight that it made his hand burst open. You know, just, oh, it was horrible. And then the only other time I saw him cry is when he mashed his thumb with a big sledgehammer. And he sat up all night with that and shed tears. Pain was awful. They say the farming, on the farm is where you find most of your accidents, and they're really bad at times.
I was picking corn for his dad, and blizzard come up, and we only had 3 rows to pick, and his dad says, go ahead. I picking along, and the snow and the corn got blocked the wagon, so I backed up, and I knew if I'd shut my picker off, the belts would get wet, and I couldn't go. And I got back and dug out in front of the wheels, and went to stand up, and I hit the elevator and had a great big old V-belt running there. I could see it just as plain, but I went to fall and I grabbed into that belt. Good thing that finger was gone, because it crooked the rest of them. But it bent the side of that pulley out. I had the big old wood chopper leather mittens on, and it saved my hand.
Going back to that finger that was completely cut off, they put it on and they matched all the nerves and everything, and it was normal. After that, it was just a marvel. Yeah, so.
Mine, I walked out of the shop. I was working for a hay mill, and there's supposed to be helpers there, and they weren't. And I walked out, and just then the clerk drove up to the office, and I hollered across, and I says, call the doctor. I'm going up to the doctor's office. And I got in the company's pickup and drip, drip, drip up to the doctor's office. And next day, my helper come and went in the shop, and of course I wasn't there, and he stepped on my finger, and he looked down and seen what it was, and it made him so sick that he had to go home. So it didn't put my finger back on. It probably worked all right if I'd have picked it up right away.
Yeah, see, he got there quick enough.
Yeah.
Everything was still alive.
My name is Matt, and what do you guys think you should do if you see a rattlesnake?
Kill it. I have never let one live yet. We're talking about that coming in. We've got the.
I don't have it with me today.
You don't have a rattlesnake Kate. Have you heard of her?
No.
She is a neighbor woman about 5-6 miles from us. But she's got a dress in museum in, what is it?
In Greeley, the Greeley
Greeley.
Museum, yeah.
In Greeley, where she made out of rattlesnake skins, which she killed all at one time.
How many were there?
140.
140 of them.
She come up on this den, and what she gonna do? She just took her gun and bang, 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 bang.
We had, well, straight down the road from us, the county was digging out the culvert in the driveway to the house, and the little girl got bit that lived there, and I don't know why the county come out and they found a whole
Den.
ball of them inside the tile.
Wow.
You
but
don't
we've
fool
had-
with them.
Yeah.
We've had them on the lawn and right outside the neighbor's door or in the yard.
Have they ever not rattled at you before? Just walk by and you don't hear anything, and then you just see a rattle or something.
Oh, you hear it pretty soon. Yeah, they're very sensitive.
You can take the rattler off of a rattlesnake and put it in the center and have strings out. Yeah, your thumb and that rattler set up and give you the same sound as the rattlesnake.
Patrick, and do or did you play any sports? No.
I did.
What
I
did-
played a lot of sports, all the way through high school. Girls basketball, half court. The girls know anything about the half court? Oh, I hated it. I wanted to go all the way. And girls fast pitch, softball.
She was a pitcher.
I was the pitcher. My dad wanted boys, but he got all girls, so we were put to sports. He enjoyed it very much. Even when my husband was in the seminary in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, we won the state title that time with me pitching 3 games that day.
Wow.
But you know, the Yankees lost last night. I don't know. Myra, were you ever in sports?
Not really.
She was music.
was my life.
She was music.
What kind of music did you like or play? What kind of music?
What kind of music did you
It's
like?
just piano and then voice lessons. And then for a while, I had 7 little starters in the piano one summer when school wasn't in session. So,
She was an excellent church pianist.
Do you still play?
Do you still play, Myra?
I got rid of the piano. My hands were getting crippled. I couldn't reach the full octave, and I was hearing too many false notes. So I got rid of the piano. I miss it. I played more for my own pleasure. I did, well, in school years ago, they'd have a contest between all the schools in the district. And we went to this one, I was asked to represent our school. And the minute I sat down, I realized what they did, and I still think it was intentional. They took the casters off and everything, and it dropped it too low, and I couldn't get my knees under. And I said I had to sit sideways, you know, and trying to work the pedal. And there, the pupil from theirs got first because I think she practiced on it and knew all about it. And this, but every one of us, you know, that came from other schools, it was a shock to us, and then you didn't know quite how to sit, you know, and I was quite angry about that deal. I came out second.
Who were some of your favorite musicians?
Where was it?
What musicians did you like?
Right now, I can't think. What did you mean, like with instruments or singing or just music and
Yeah.
period?
Just in general.
Periods. I'm so bad about names anymore. Jeanette McDonald. She went to school at Boulder with my cousin, and I had a very, very long, high range too, you know, and that's why I liked her. She was known for that. She could sing so very, very high.
You're a Yankees fan, Betty?
You bet.
It's unfortunate. How
They've won in the past.
about the Red Sox?
You're about the Red Sox?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's all right. We gotta have competition.
That's right.
Do you only watch baseball or what other sports?
Oh, football.
Football?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite team?
Broncos, since I'm in Colorado. And they won too.
Yeah, they've been winning a lot.
Mhm. My son started me on that when he was in high school. So I had to go to the games and know the plays. So that's how I got in football. And I took Floyd to his first football game with his grandson, playing. I explained all the plays. He got through it.
What do you think of women's basketball being a professional sport since you played when you were in high school?
I think it's a good outlet for women. I really do. Yeah. Athletic.
Do you wish you would have had that opportunity when you were younger?
I don't think I would have gone any place with it because I wanted to be a nurse. And you can't get too much in your plate, so
Did you go to school to be a nurse?
no. We didn't have any money. It's what I wanted to do, but we didn't have any money. When you come from those one-room schoolhouses into the town, you get through, but you have no money.
Did anyone else go to school, upper level school, like college or anything?
Grade school as far as I went, yeah. And so,
At 8th grade. Oh, I went to college here in Glasgow.
3 times we've been in college.
university.
Yeah.
It hasn't helped it.
When I tell them about this, they think of the children in high school, and I said, no, the university. University? My pastor calls me a professor now.
Where do your kids live, Betty and Floyd?
I have one son, he lives in Las Vegas, Nevada,
Okay.
and I have 4 great-grandchildren. The 2 granddaughters live in Nebraska, and that's where my great-grandchildren
Okay.
My kids are still right around Well County. I've got 4 of them still alive.
are. Brothers and sisters, brothers.
Uh,
Brothers. You got 4 brothers,
I,
alive.
I've got
Oh,
4
and Ruth.
grandkids.
Oh, yeah, you got
All right.
4 grandkids.
This is my second wife, so that's, yeah. She's,
I don't know too much about him, but I really should.
I've never asked you that. At what ages did you get married, the 2 of you?
7 years ago,
So what's that make it?
71, and you're 85 now, so figure it quick. They can figure quicker than me. 7 years ago.
what year did we get married?
7 years ago, 98.
Okay, I was 78 then. Yeah, that's the second marriage or the first? We never knew each other or anything, and her husband from Gilchrist. Did you know where Gilchrist is? It's south of Greeley. And my folks has lived there where I'm at all their lives. Built a house in 1916. Well, her and her husband got married in LaSalle Church in 46 in February, and my wife and I, we got married in the same church in May of 46, the same year. Never did know each other or meet or anything.
Courtney, what's the best joke you've ever heard, Floyd?
Well, it's my favorite. The old man, he's had a little money and he was rich and bald-headed, I guess, with a little hair on his head. Anyway, he had a Mercedes, and he took it out for a drive. And he was going down the road, and he looked behind him, and there was a trooper, flash. So he just stepped down a little bit, looked back, still behind him. He got up to 100 miles an hour, and he looked back, and the trooper was still behind him. So he just stepped down on the old Mercedes and walked off and left him. And he got up the road. He knew the country, and there's a wide spot in the road, and he pulled off and was sitting there. The trooper drove up beside him, and he says, "I guess you know you're speeding." He says, "Yeah." Trooper says, "Well," he says, "if you can give me one good reason that I haven't heard why you're speeding," he says, "I won't give you a ticket." The old guy says, "Well, it's like this." He says, "My wife run off with a trooper about a year ago, and he says, I thought you was bringing her back." Was that a good enough one?
Yeah,
that was a good
one.
Matt, and have you guys ever known any ex-convicts?
One, a nephew, always in trouble. So finally they put him away for quite a while.
They haven't caught up with me yet. You know what? They say laughter's a good medicine. Wait till you guys get the bill.
Have any of you ever been to Mexico?
Just barely over the border.
Oh.
And there, the merchants all come out and stand on the sidewalk, and they want you to come in the shop, and they'd always reach and pull. And my little girl was so frightened, and she would, that knocked me over and hanging on to me, you know, they were, it was interesting, but you have to know what they are trying to sell you. We were looking for turquoise, and then there's a, let's see, I gotta think the other, another stone that looks just like it. And they said, "Oh, we've got beautiful turquoise." Well, we saw right away it wasn't. But it was interesting.
Myra and her husband run a rock shop and made jewelry and some different things.
Oh, I got to think, we visited a missionary couple in another part of Texas, Mexico, and they took us across the border, and they all have siesta from 11 till 1 or 2 o'clock, and then what just made me sit to the stuff. Here comes a wheelbarrow with a butchered hog, and flies, I'm telling you, and they went into this one shop, you know, and we were warned, don't buy any food, nothing, you know, because, oh, it was so unsanitary, and that just, I can still see that wheelbarrow with that pig on it.
I've been in Mexico several times. It's, the butcher shops are just like that. They have the meat hanging out on under their little shanties or sheds, and flies galore. Well, France and England was the same way, so it's, and we was out in the middle of the ocean, and even flies out there, so. Funny, I don't know how they got there, but they is there.
They were all open shops. Nothing, no doors, no windows, you know, just, yeah. So very unsanitary.
What kind of animals were butchered on the farms that you've seen in Greeley and around there?
What we've seen beside our regular horses, a lot of coyotes, and for a while we used to have so many fox. And then another was the deer, and we have a natural seep pond at the bottom of our land there. And it had a beach to begin with, and here one day, here's 3 does and several little fawn, and they were playing, and it was so interesting. And then during the night, they'd come up and eat off of the lawn. And my son could hear them right up by his bedroom window, and they kind of, you know, they're just that little, he said they're talking to each other. But it was so thrilling, and then we'd see them under the clothesline and always walking around. So, but that's all ended. Yeah, we still have a lot of coyotes, but we haven't seen a fox for years now.
Is that just because the city has gotten bigger? Just more people in the city? Is that the reason that a lot of the animals have left?
No,
People and houses.
Yeah, they're building, everything is, crowding them. They're,
you know, if you want to see coyotes and foxes, you have to come to town, because the farmers used to always have chickens and stuff around, and, well, they
There's no food.
don't raise chickens anymore on the farms and stuff, and the coyotes just moved into town to get the little kittens and little pups and stuff where they have something to eat.
they did, occasionally they see a mountain lion, and then there was a bobcat at B.B. Draw, a cemetery. The ditch rider saw it, and there was a mother with her kids there, and but we didn't see that, but I know they sometimes wander down from the mountains.
We had turkeys and ducks, chickens, of course. And then we butcher pig and a small beef. That's what kept us going. You know how they did a pig? You know how they clean a pig? They have a great big barrel of hot boiling water, fire entered, and they put it up on a pulley and they lower it into that hot water and out, and then they had a table and scrape him clean. That's how they got him clean. I had to do the scrape.
We butchered, I think, about 20 one day. My dad sold them to the people in Denver to come out, and we'd butcher them, and they'd come out and haul them to town.
That would give you cash, and you'd have a little money. You didn't have any money otherwise.
Funniest about pigs is we had a whole pen of pigs. They weighed from 80 pounds to 120, and that was in 37.
Probably.
And pigs were so cheap that they wasn't worth feeding hardly. Well, they weren't worth feeding, and a bunch of colored people, guys in a brand new Buick, come in 37. The Buick had a little trunk on the back end, which you open the lid and drop things in, and they come in to ask to hunt on the farm, and pigs was right across the fence, and they got out, and boy, what a nice bunch of pigs and everything. And my dad says, well, he says, you can have your pick for 75 cents a piece. And those, there was 6 of them in that Buick. And they jumped the fence and each grabbed a pig and come out of there, and they put pigs in that trunk, and the guys in the back seat was holding pigs, and that was the biggest, I don't know what sight you ever seen. You try to hold a 100-pound pig, and it would be pretty rough. And then 6 of them in that new Buick, and they all got them a pig and took off for Denver. They didn't want to hunt.
My mom used to get so provoked at real rich relatives that would come to visit from California and Chicago, and they just loved all the vegetables. And she, oh, isn't this wonderful that you have this all free? And Mom thought, free? As hard as you work to, to do our own butchering, like Betty said here, they didn't realize how many hours you put in, but everything they thought was free to us.
Courtney, have you ever fired a gun? Any of you? What kind of gun?
No, it's just small rifles, all that. In service, I wore a little red band around my sleeve. That's all.
He was in the medics.
But no, well, after the service and after we got married, I was irrigating on Selden Ranch, the old Crew Ranch, and I had water scattered for 7 miles. And of a morning, I'd take about this time of year, well, a little earlier than this, I'd take the little 22 out, and the pheasants would be out along the creek sunning themselves, and I'd get me a pheasant now and then.
Have you ever fired a gun, Betty or Myra?
Not me. Did you ever fire a gun?
Once. Never again.